Treat your dreams like your main chick and everything else like your side piece. Don't let anything make decisions for the main chick, your job. Gotta work, you gotta work hard. But listen, if you have those opportunities to progress as an actor, take them. I'm not saying don't crash out, don't jump out the window and quit your job. I'm saying make sure you make your dream, your goal as a priority.
Welcome to Inside the Audition, the podcast where we go behind the scenes for a deep dive look into the world of auditions. I'm Joe Lars Larson, creator of Actors Audition Club, an international community helping actors book your dream roles in TV, film, and theater.
And I'm Brandon Knox, actor, producer, and co-host. Each episode, we chat with actors and industry professionals to share their audition experiences, insights, and advice.
We provide actors with actionable tips, strategies, and resources to help you elevate your auditions.
We demystify the often intimidating and misunderstood world of auditions to help you succeed.
So whether you're just starting out on your acting journey or you're a seasoned pro, join our Actors Audition Club members as we go
Inside the Audition.
Hey actors, do you want to nail your next audition? Download our free audition success checklist from Actors Audition Club. This checklist is packed with everything you need to be fully prepared, focused, and confident. Whether you're new to auditions or you're a seasoned pro, this checklist is your ultimate guide to owning your auditions and making an unforgettable impression with a standout self-tape. Do not leave success to chance. Get your free audition success checklist today at actorsauditionclub.com/checklist. Once again, that's actorsauditionclub.com/checklist and take control of your audition journey today. Hey, it's me, Joey Freddie Larson, and today we've got a very special episode in a series of episodes featuring some of the cast and crew from a new horror anthology series called Tales from the Void. I was lucky enough to be cast in a lead role in one of the episodes on Tales from the Void, so I thought, why not have some chats with some of the cast and crew, creators. You can watch Tales from the Void on Screambox in the US. That's the streaming site Screambox. In Canada, you can watch it on Amazon Prime and also on Super Channel. It is a horror thriller anthology series, super cool in the realm of Black Mirror, Twilight Zone, Outer Limits. All of the stories are based on the Reddit subthread No Sleep, which features some real creepypasta type stories. Again, if you're a fan of No Sleep, you're going to love this show. So enjoy today's episode featuring one of the cast and crew from Tales from the Void. My episode is the premiere episode called Into the Unknown. I know you're going to love it. Check out Tales from the Void on Screambox or Amazon Prime Super Channel. Here comes the episode. Here we are. I'm here with Sean O.G. Sims. This is the third time we've hung out. We're about to do a podcast episode. Then the previous time that we've hung out, we crushed a bunch of burgers and hot dogs and
sliders and all types
sliders.
Yeah.
And the other time was we spent a week in the magical world of Sault Ste. Marie shooting the premiere episode of a TV series called Tales from the Void, and our episode was Into the Unknown. So I'm excited for our third hang. We're going to talk about the week that we met. We're going to talk about auditions, and sadly, we have no sliders.
Not today.
Sorry, buddy, but feel free to eat. We'll keep it real loose. So just so you know, I record an intro afterwards, so we don't need to go through the whole rigmarole of a big introduction. However, one of the things I love about your story is that you, like me, wasn't a person who started out as an actor from a kid and always knew they wanted to be an actor.
Yeah.
And I know you were on the podcast Second Act Actors with Janet, our mutual friend. So tell us a little bit about your backstory, because that's so inspiring to me, because it means that you were going down one path in your life and you had to have the courage and put away the fear of like, oh my God, I'm going to do this crazy thing that everyone thinks is impossible. So tell us
Yeah.
about your origin story.
I guess to start off, it was I always so when I was in high school and stuff, I wanted to well, I didn't want to play football. Like my coach saw me and was like, why didn't you try out?" And I was like, well, I didn't think I was making. He's like, "You're on the team." So I on the team and like I'm getting my ass kicked by everybody. And then it wasn't until like probably like a year or so later, training with this other coach and all this stuff, I started getting better. And I always wanted to be an actor. But I was like, I'm such a big guy. I'm like,
Mm.
6'5", and I'm this, and they want, this, and like you always have that stuff in your head. And it wasn't until like went into university, played at York, and then I got drafted to the Argonauts, got cut, went overseas, played in France, doing like mercenary work, just whoever paid me, whichever team, which was fun.
That's great.
Had to come back. My mom was like had cancer, and the cancer came back. And as I came back, like 2 weeks later on her birthday, she passes away.
Oh, wow.
And then it was like, okay, what am I gonna do? So I started working at the hospital where my mom used to take dialysis and passed away. And so I was working there for like years, and just paying off my tuition and doing a lot of overtime. And I didn't have a lot of family, so it was like always working all the time, right? And I started dating somebody as a nurse at the hospital, and we were really working on like getting outside of our boxes. You know what I mean? It's like I was really good at, doing security and whatnot. And she was a really good nurse, but, we stayed in our lane, right? And it was like we were really focusing on getting outside of our lane. So one day she's like, "What do you really want to do?" And I'm like, "Well, I always wanted to be an actor, but, I never thought." She's like, "Let's find you a school," right?
Wow.
First school, I didn't like it that much. It almost made me lose the love for,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
acting.
There's a few of those where it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
And
leave
then
with PTSD. You're like, oh, am I supposed to hate this? Oh, because that was horrible.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then like the next one was like my Miyagi-Do,
Yeah.
And yeah, I was training there for years. And finally I was like, undercover, I had the big binder full of monologues and scenes and whatever. And everybody at work was like, what are you doing?
You
What
were
are you
still in
doing?
the acting closet. That's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because when you ask me when you tell people like, "Oh, I'm an actor." "Oh, how much money did you make?"
Right. Oh, what
"Oh,
have I seen
not
you
make."
in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what have I seen you in? And right. So I was training, and then I lose my job, and I was like, "Oh shoot, what am
Oh,
I
what a
gonna do
blessing.
now?" And
Oh.
this is like like October 19th, 2020, lose my job. I'm like, what am I gonna do?
So
And then
mid that's mid COVID, yeah.
yeah.
So COVID
And I
had
was
already
just like,
happened. Yeah.
yeah. And I was just like, yo, you got to shit or get off the pot. You've been training for how many years? So like 3 days later, I booked this meeting with this agent. And yeah, she signed me up. And like a week later, I booked my first like show.
Fuck
And
yeah.
it's just like, yeah, it's like everything happens for a reason. And
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy how everything worked out. And
Oh,
yeah.
I love that so much. I'm getting like goosebumps. Those are my favorite things in the world where you like took a leap, something bad happened, something that you couldn't
Yeah.
label as bad happened, but you spun it like maybe this is the universe, this is my opportunity.
Yeah.
Shout out to that was your girlfriend.
Mm,
Shout out to her because a lot of times you say it to someone and you're like, "Oh, you're crazy," or "Well, how are you going to pay the bills?" Like the fact that she said, first of all, that she asked you the question, "Hey, what do you really want to be doing?"
yes.
If you had a genie and wave a magic wand and you're living the life you want to live, what would it be? You have the courage to say it. Then
Yeah.
she has the courage and support to not get her own fears. Like, well, if I encourage him and he fails, then I'm dating some
Yeah.
loser starving artist. Like
Yeah.
she could have thought that and just instead, well, let's
I've
figure
had
it out.
girlfriends like I was playing like I was when I was thinking about trying to get back into CFL, and this one girl was like, "Oh, if you get back into CFL, then we're done." It's like, what? You know what I mean? It's
It's like
like,
we're done right now.
yeah, and
Thank
it's
you. Thank you for
yeah,
showing me your true
and she's
colors.
going and she's like, "I really want to get my master's and this and that," and I'm like, "Yeah, let me help, let me any way I can." And then it was like when it came to me, it was like, "Oh yeah, if you do that, we're done." It's like
Wow.
crazy, yeah. So yeah, shout out to
Did she
Jen.
ever say why? She was like
Um,
too many cheerleaders.
Yeah, that I think that was mainly the reason why there's like
Right,
too many girls and this and that. But
right.
yeah,
Too many concussions. Maybe that was it.
no, no, I think
She
I would
was
think it
scared
was
of your
more
brain.
like she was thinking the girls and yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Well, man, I love that. And I didn't know that about you. I love hearing, I always love talking about people's acting showbiz origin story, like how they got into it.
yeah,
And the
yeah.
crazy thing is everyone's got a different story, but there's similar themes. Like
Mhm.
I had a 10-year career in financial services. I was literally selling life insurance. And then I
Really?
started doing stand up and sketch comedy and improv, and that led to commercials and indie films and student films, and got an agent, and then TV, film, theater, keep doing all that stuff.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, I was 31 when I did my first stand-up set. Before that, I had done a couple dumb YouTube videos, but I was also a late bloomer like you.
yeah, yeah. But everything happens for a reason. Like
Mhm.
people think, do you get this sometimes? Like your friends see that you're getting some kind of success or milestones, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, you got an agent, right? Yeah, why don't you hook me up?" It's like, Have you trained? No, I'm self-taught." But it's
Right,
like if Joey can do it,
right.
I definitely can
Yeah,
do it. You know
yeah,
what
yeah.
I mean? They don't.
Yeah, there's that misconception that
Yeah,
it's only like I'm a person, I have a face, I can say words,
yeah,
I can memorize lines, and
yeah.
then you realize there's it's a profession, it's a craft. There's a lot to learn. Yeah,
Well, it's like being a fighter, right? It's like nobody's gonna walk into the gym and be like, "Yeah, no, I can do this."
right,
You fight the top guy and you get
right.
knocked out, and
Yeah.
it's
They can think that, but then they get their head knocked off.
yeah, and you get punched in the mouth, and you realize, oh shoot, I
Right.
better start training. Yeah,
Right. It's like that quote. Everyone's got a plan until you get
so you
punched in
get
the
punched in the
face.
mouth. Yeah.
We also share a similar. We to the Dead Moms Club.
Mhm.
Sorry to your loss. I also lost my
That was
mom
your last.
through cancer as well too.
Yeah.
So that's something that's tough to deal with, but also I'm sure played a part in you deciding like, oh, life is fragile, life is short.
Yeah.
If I'm not here forever, what do I really want to be doing?
Yeah.
I don't know about your mom, but my mom, I was quite young, so I had never gotten into this, but I always had the feeling like she would support me in anything that I would choose. She just
Mhm.
like she wanted her son to be happy, so I know that she'd be happy with all this stuff too. But did
Yeah.
that play a part in you? I know that was around the transition time a little bit.
Yeah, you know what? It was a really maturing time. Like when I went to France, because I was like, admittedly, when I was younger, like a mama's boy, like because I was always taking care of her, and I was always, you know what I mean? It was just me and her,
Right.
and yeah, it's just my mom, she had like kidney failure for like ever, like 13 years, right? And then when she was finally about to get her kidney, boom, cancer, right? So it
Wow.
was just like, holy crap. So, she fought and she was a really strong person, but like she was always proud of me, you know what I mean, of what I was doing and whatnot. And I gotta say, like, I have a lot of friends, who were doing like, different things and hustling and all types of stuff. And the relationship with their parents were really rocky. And I just, it's a blessing to know that your mom passes away and she's proud of you, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Imagine the
So,
haunting last words
mhm.
or things unsaid. You never got to talk to
Yeah,
her.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That is I don't know, I can't speak to your experience, but my experience was as tragic as it is to see someone get sick and eventually pass away, there's a blessing in the time that you get to spend with them versus someone who drops dead of a heart attack or like I can't imagine a
Yeah.
car accident
Yep.
where one day they're fine and then the next they're gone and you
Mhm.
never got to say goodbye and all that stuff. Like, I guess it's I mean, there's pros and cons to all of it, I guess, but
Yeah.
that was a blessing on our side. Is plenty of
Mhm.
deep conversations and goodbyes, and
Yeah.
still rocks you when it happens. Nothing really prepares you for the, oh my God, they're gone now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But then you realize it's like there's no safety net, like
right,
if something happens, with people who have their parents and whatnot, you know, they could, lose everything, but they could still go home.
right.
But then it's like you don't have that, and you're like, oh, you start getting cautious, but then and then it kind of like takes you in, like, okay, maybe I shouldn't take this chance anymore, maybe I shouldn't. But then something happens, and then when you lose enough, it's just like you can't be afraid to leap. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like those trapeze artists,
right.
when when the safety net's there, it's like, oh, okay, I could slip up. But when they take the safety net off, it's like, everything has to be, precise and perfect. And, it's just you just work on it.
Yeah, I love that. It's funny that you mentioned that too, because my dad's getting up there too, and he has some health things. And I thought of
Mhm.
that. I lost my mom. She was young. She was 56, and I was young. I was only 23, I think. So
Yeah.
different, like different feelings at the, and he's
Mhm.
82. But I've had that thought too of like, when you lose both your parents, it can make you feel really untethered and be like, oh, I'm like, it's all up to me now, which has also, it's probably similar but different when you have a first child where you're like, oh, now I'm taking care. I got to crush it because I'm taking care of another human being. And then when you lose both parents, you're like, I got to crush it because it's up to me. And there's no going back to mom to make me supper or to sleep on the couch or it's like,
Yeah. But I
yeah,
think like if anything, I think I got to meet your dad briefly when we
yeah,
were
yeah,
watching the
yeah.
Tales. But it's like if anything did happen to your dad, I think you would know that your dad is so proud of you and he's seen
Oh, yeah.
successes, you know what I
Right,
mean? And I there's this saying where it's like, your parents' job is to build a strong boat so
right,
that when you go out to sea, you're always able to come back and make it through, the storms and stuff. And like, I see you and what you're doing, and it's like you're there, you're that strong boat. You know what I mean?
right.
So like if anything did
Viking
happen,
boats.
he knows,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, some people they're not lucky to have their parents to do that, and they're
Yeah.
like their parents are drowning themselves by the time the kid comes along. So,
Mhm.
yeah, blessing there. Well, look at this. Look at us, two grown men getting emotional, talking about parents,
Yeah.
love, loss, dreams come true.
Yeah.
I want to talk obviously about Tales from the Void.
Mhm.
Let's just talk from your perspective how that project came about to be. You could talk about the audition process. This being inside the audition, we love hearing behind the scenes audition
Mhm.
stories. You could talk about how you generally prepare or specifics to this, and then we'll get into talking about the actual shoot week and how much fun that was. Hey, actors, are you ready to take charge of your acting career? Start tracking your audition progress with our free audition success tracker tool from Actors Audition Club. This incredible tool has been designed to help you log every audition, review what worked, and highlight your areas for improvement. Tracking your audition journey is a key to growing as an actor, and this incredible tracker tool makes it easy. Download your audition success tracker today at actorsauditionclub.com/tracker. That's actorsauditionclub.com/tracker and start building your roadmap to audition success today.
So, it was like early, early in the year, I get this audition. I'm like, huh, okay. And it's one of those ones where I find the ones that you really, really like, oh my gosh, like, I got to prepare for this and blah, blah, blah. But the ones where you're just like natural and you're just like, okay, you figured out how, you want to play it and you just do it and you just forget about it. Those are the ones that It's
Right.
like a girl you like, you know what I mean? It's like
Right.
the
I
girl
just
you like is
knew.
just stuttering, da 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 da. But when the girl that you don't even think is even interested in you, and you just do your thing, and you just they like you, you know,
Right.
that's what it is. And yeah, it was just it was a scene where I'm supposed to hear the vibration of like the square or whatever, and I'm supposed to turn around. And yeah, I did it a couple ways. I just honestly, I just read it over. I memorized my lines, but like my lines weren't like, super complicated or whatever, but and then I just did it. And I just, I did a couple takes. Usually my girlfriend, she helps me with my takes and stuff.
Okay.
So it
Is
helps me
this the
shooting.
same girlfriend from before?
No, no, this is a different
Different
girlfriend.
relationship.
Yeah.
Well,
But
look at you, all these helpful girlfriends.
yeah, you know what? I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have like
Yes.
some very amazing women who came into
Yeah.
my life.
It's like what
But
they say, behind every successful man is several
yeah,
amazing girlfriends.
absolutely. Honestly, if it wasn't for like some very strong women, I wouldn't be here where I
Yeah,
am right
buddy, your mom
now. Like
included.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so didn't hear anything for like, like a month or two. I thought like nothing, it was over and done with, right?
Right. Same.
And
Yeah.
yeah, then it's like boom, you got congratulations. I'm like, congratulations for oh. And then I got the part, and then I tell my one of my best friends, Johnny, I'm like, yo, I got this part. He's like, oh, I'm on the same show. So
That's
we got to
incredible.
shoot again. Yeah, yeah. So that
Johnny
was cool.
Goche. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Who will do one of these with him as well too.
yeah,
Um, Cool. Well, I'm sure part of like that high school coach or the college coach that just saw you and was like, "You're playing football." A bit of it was if they saw you, they're like, "Yeah, that's the guy."
yeah. Hopefully, hopefully.
So to let our listeners know, if I know I've been sharing it, so you might have already seen this, but it's Tales from the Void. The premiere episode is Into the Unknown, which was directed by Joe Lynch. Sean and I were both in it. You're going to meet more of the cast as well, and hopefully we'll do an episode with Joe Lynch, the director, and also Francesco, the creator and producer, and one of the directors of the other series. Um, but I lost my train of thought. I was like, I wanted to say where it is. So you can watch it in the States. You can watch it on Screambox, streaming app called Screambox. In Canada, it's on Super Channel, which I think you can also watch on Prime. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. People have been finding out on Amazon Prime, and our episode is the first
I think
episode.
they
It's
give you a free week. I'm just saying
ooh, there
that
you go. Yeah, yeah.
what's going
We're
on.
gonna hook you
Yeah,
in.
Super
Yeah.
Channel.
These podcasts might be responsible for millions and millions of of subscription revenue for Amazon.
Yeah. There you
You're welcome, Jeff Bezos.
go.
I feel like we got a buyout. We're probably not getting a cut of that money, but yeah, go to Amazon Prime, go to Screenbox. It's a six episode first season of a horror thriller anthology. And the cool thing that I don't know about you, but when you first saw it, they attached the lookbook and the specs and the description of the project was quite deep. There was a really cool lookbook that showed like the vibe and the look and feel. And
Yeah.
then it talked about the fact that so they sourced all of these stories. I know you know all this, Sean. I'm not if you're like why is he telling me what the show is? I'm talking to our listeners right now, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's they sourced from the Reddit thread No Sleep, or the sub thread No Sleep. There's this giant community, I think millions and millions of readers, and it's first person horror thriller stories told and written in from first person. So they're meant to sound like this is a real thing that happened to me. And our episode is based on a super viral story called The Black Square that then they adapted. I'm spacing on the writer's name. Sorry to the writer, but we'll link it all up in the show notes. And then so like Black Mirror, like Twilight Zone, like Outer Limits, each episode is a standalone thing, but in the genre of thriller horror. So let's talk about the actual shoot of it. Because for me, my experience was it was on location, which for me is always cool. It feels like you're flying away to movie camp. You get a little like paid vacation. You get to feel like a rock star. They arrange the transport, the plane ticket. I just got to show up, which feels cool. And then I think were we on the same flight, all of us?
No. I
No? Did
was
you
on
come later?
yeah, I was with
Okay.
Janet McMorty, right?
Okay. Okay.
We
So
got on the same plane together. But then yeah, you guys, I think you and John were on a separate plane. Yeah.
yeah, John was on mine, and I believe Martin and Poe were also on that one too. But we
Okay.
didn't really know each other, so you're
Yeah.
just like, you got this exciting
Yeah.
thing. I'm going, and then you look around, and then all of a sudden we're waiting for the shuttle from the airport, and kind of
Oh
you look
no.
around,
Oh
you're like,
good. Yeah.
you have the vibe of a TV and movie star. Like you look at each other,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden we're in the back of a van on the way to the hotel.
Mhm.
But let's talk. Did anything stand out from the shoot itself?
Well,
Either
I
on
think that was
set,
my
offset?
first I think that was like my first like flying somewhere to do shoot something. So that was really cool. Uh
Yeah, man.
the you know what? Honestly, just like, having a hotel going, because like in the beginning you're doing a chitlin circuit, you know what I mean? You're doing, tail was it haunted this and
Yeah, like non-union docudramas.
yeah. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
Drive yourself there, wear
yeah.
your own wardrobe.
Shut up and eat this. Don't talk.
Here's your
Yeah.
peanut butter sandwiches.
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But awesome experiences too. But yeah, just doing it, doing something like shooting something while taking a flight in another part of the country with one of your best friends, and just it was an amazing experience. Everybody from the cast and crew, everybody was cool, everybody was welcoming. Knock on wood, I haven't really had like too crazy of a, bad experience on set with anybody. So yeah, it's just
Yeah,
yeah, it's amazing. And
yeah,
just like when they built um Impo's like apartment in the gymnasium
right.
and just seeing how it's crazy. And
Yeah,
then like, the facial scan and doing all that stuff, the
yeah.
CGI was
Yeah,
amazing.
the CGI AI scan of us
Yeah.
to reproduce us.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, cast and crew top to bottom.
Yeah.
Huge shout out to Joe Lynch too. He's such a great captain,
Yeah, he was
general,
cool, man.
cheerleader. Like he's the perfect balance. He's also a super like cinephile, film nerd, loves what he's doing. Always had like the pre-meetings, like the pre-meeting huddle with everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but in my experience too is in the callbacks, and then he took some time before we were shooting to meet with me and go through my scenes and make sure he took really good care of us, I guess is what I would say.
Hmm.
He was a
Yeah.
real actor's director. I think that comes from the fact that he's also an actor himself and
Yeah.
just loves the process. Like no part of it, as grueling as that schedule was, we were doing like overnights and super late
Yeah.
and just and we're I feel like a lot of the time the actors we get the easiest schedule compared to
Yeah.
directors and producers and everyone working, the crew working, like crews got to show up early. They're usually there tearing down. But yeah, just a great experience top to bottom. Like we're a team, we're all doing this,
Yeah.
and then where you're sat at the end. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Funny Joe Lynch story. So like on my callback, he sat in, right? He's on Zoom, and so he's like, yeah, Sean, so this story is about, like, you kind of get what the story is about. Like it's this cube and da da da. He starts explaining it. And I'm like, that episode of Star Trek where that cube comes to the Enterprise, and he's
yes.
like, sorry.
He's like, you're my guy. Yeah,
He's like, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Like he
yeah,
got, he immediately got the reference. He's like, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
that's it. Yeah. So it's just
yeah.
like, the fact
That's
that he understood that, just
It's
I knew
so
I was gonna get
important for a lot of directors because for a lot of directors, that is how they speak. They need like they want to be like, oh, it's like that scene from this, or it's the tone of
it.
this.
Yeah.
or it's as specific as that shot from blank movie,
Hmm.
and so it becomes this like movie speak shorthand instead of having to get like technical or to explain the emotions or like any of that. It's just like, oh, it's like this, and you're like, got it.
Yeah.
I actually felt bad because he's like, again, I like. He's the favorite director that I've worked with. I'll say that. Like I would if he shined the symbol into the sky, I'd be like, "Where are you? I'll come and
Yeah.
I'll be in anything that you're shooting right now."
Yeah.
Um, but he dropped several references on me that I hadn't seen, and so
Really.
I'm like, I got to watch more movies because I could see like he's all cool with it, but I could see the disappointment in his eyes. Like he'd be like, "Oh, it's like this. Have you seen this?" And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I don't like. Maybe I saw bits and pieces when I was a kid." Like, and he's like, so
You ever
great.
watch like Star Trek, like The Next Generation or whatever?
Have I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched more old school Star Trek
Oh, okay. Because there's
than
like this
Next Gen.
episode. There's this episode where like Captain Picard is making first contact with this alien, and they have to touch down on this planet, and the guy's speaking, but Picard doesn't understand what he's talking about because he's talking about like stories. Like his whole culture is like based on like stories. So he'll, you'd be like Trojan horse, Troy, right? And
Mhm.
but if you don't know what the story is, and it's like that's how directors kind of speak sometimes. It's like
Right,
you got to know the reference of the movie and da da da, so you could be like, oh, okay, yeah, I understand.
right.
Oh,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
yeah, so
Yeah, so yeah, it's a great lesson for actors. It's like if you want to one of my other coaches, Tom Todoroff, who I know you've worked with as
mhm,
well, he
yeah,
has said I've one of his quotable quotes is if you want to be a part of TV and film history, you need to know it as well, or you need to study it. So he recommended Criterion Channel, which is jacked full of collections of like iconic and award-winning films, and they put them into cool collections, like either a bunch from the director, or a bunch from an actor, or a bunch from a genre. And yeah, it does really help
yeah.
when
It's like
you're
being a
when you're
football
watching it.
coach, being a student of the game. You got
Yeah,
to watch tons and tons of film, right?
right.
Game film. And luckily for me, like my mom used to work a lot. Like she used to work security at the airport. And I'd just be by myself and I'd just be, watching TV, watching this
Right.
movie, watching that movie. So
Training, you were
yeah,
studying
that's
right
that's what
there.
it is. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the great thing about that is I'm pretty sure, I mean, talk to your accountant, but I believe like your movie tickets and your subscriptions and things like that as an actor, that's all training and education.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's a write-off, baby.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know about the popcorn and the Skittles, but at least the ticket itself. Yeah. What else can we talk about? You remember the last day, like wrap day? Were you on the plane home with us, or did you go the
Yep.
the, the
I,
day
we
before?
we all went to the airport.
Yeah.
You and John and Empo, you guys got on the same flight, and then me and Janet went because
Okay.
yeah,
So you
because
were
he
part
was
of the
you guys are like deeper downtown, so you guys went to the
right.
Toronto Island, and I
Yeah,
went
we
to
went to the
the
island airport.
yeah.
Yes. So you were there for the part that I wanted to talk about is so to me, I don't think I've ever had like a higher post-wrap high where I'm walking through an airport feeling like I'm a fucking rock star. Like
Yeah,
it went so great. The week went so great. I think we all really felt good about what everyone did. Any
yeah.
scenes that weren't ours that we watched, I'm watching like enraptured, just being like, oh, that's gonna be fucking dope.
Mhm.
All Martin and Impose scenes when I like Martin to me has so much like gravitas and presence and grounding. Impose amazing with all his stuff that he was doing too. So there was just so much good stuff. So I remember leaving the hotel. Shout out to the hotel omelet bar as well.
Mhm. Yeah, the
Uh,
continental breakfast.
Yeah, I feel like the omelet maker when they look at you, they look up at you and Johnny, and are like, "We're gonna need more omelets. We're gonna
Yeah,
need more eggs."
I think we scared the receptionist. There's a few like workers at the hotel that we scared because like we had to shoot an audition
Yes.
like Johnny
Yeah, yeah.
asked me to go to his room and shoot, and it was like a prison, like for a prison scene or whatever. And I'm
Right.
like, you got to do it more and angry. And da-da. He's like, ah. So as soon as we open the door, it's like the manager's there and like with
Yeah.
another worker.
They're
She's like, oh
like,
my God, thank God you guys are just. Oh, we
yeah.
thought we
Oh,
had to
we're
call.
just acting.
Yeah,
We're just playing. Yeah. We're just play fighting.
yeah.
Yeah. And to our listeners and viewers, when you see the episode, Sean and Johnny are both huge. How
A
tall are
lot of
you?
mental love.
What are you?
You can't
How
see me?
tall are you?
6'5".
6'5". And Johnny is
6'5".
six
Yeah.
five. I'm 6'3", like 250, which means very rare in my life am I ever the small guy. But on set, and there's the great shot of the cinematography in the episode's amazing. There's so many, you don't really realize it
Mm,
when you're in front of the camera because you're not seeing it unless you're walking around a video village watching every shot. But there's
yeah.
so many of Martin's shots and Joe the director and Martin the cinematographer where I'm like, oh, this is framed so fucking perfect and beautifully. Like the three shot of me in the middle, and then you and Johnny flanking me, and then
Mhm.
more of the neighbors behind, and you kind
Yeah.
of see
Yeah.
the flicker of the lights in the apartment building behind.
Mhm.
I saw that, and I think it became like one of their posters, and I was just like,
Yeah. That's it.
like,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
fucking beautiful. Yeah. And but you guys are huge, so I'm like I'm around you, the idea, and you guys were sort of like I guess for lack of a better term, my henchmen, or we
Yeah.
were
Iron goons.
part of
Yeah.
the same group.
Yeah.
I don't know if I hired you. I don't think I had the money. I doubt I had the money to pay for you.
It's
But
true.
yeah, it's like you guys are like, yeah, massive. So you'll see. And that scene we could I don't know, we don't want to spoiler alert too much, but there's a scene where you guys basically destroy a room in like a searching for something. You're in a rage looking for somebody. Let's talk about that because I'm sure that must have been cathartic. That was one of the last things too. Was it the last night?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
before we wrap, Johnny, Sean, get in there and destroy this whole fucking set. Like the
It was
walls,
funny.
you mentioned it. They had built a lot of it was on a location. The exteriors was on a location, and then the interiors were done in a decommissioned high school's gymnasium, I think. And then they had built the sets in the
Mhm.
gymnasium. So share your experience of smashing down a door and wrecking a room.
No, it was
Wreck it,
funny
Ralph.
because like Lidge was like, explaining, he's like, Sean, yeah, we want you to smash this and just pick this up maybe over here. I just tapped him on the shoulder. I'm like, I got this. He's
Yeah.
like, all right, go ahead. And we just went in there and we just like, I think I picked up like a desk and I threw it into um like a lamp or whatever and
Right.
everything's smashing up. Yeah. Because Jana was telling me, she's like, yeah, we were watching on the screen and like the crew, they were jumping back and we're like,
Oh, it's violent. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an amazing experience, man. Just that was like the first time on set where it was like I actually got to play. You know what I
Right.
mean? Just have fun. Don't get too like in your head about something. Just enjoy yourself and play and experiment.
Right.
And nobody
Fully
was judging.
unleashed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Was that a one taker? Did you ruin
That was a
everything
one
and we
taker.
couldn't do it
That was
again?
definitely a one taker. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, this.
Right. It's like we're not resetting because it's
Yeah,
like
that's why he was like, he's
they're
like, yo,
lucky
this
they're
is
lucky the whole walls of the room didn't just like collapse and we're all just
yeah.
standing there in a gym. Yeah.
One thing you were talking about the airport, and then
Yeah.
you're talking about your high. Did you finish what you were saying or?
Oh yeah, I'll come back to that.
Okay.
Just the vibe of like that was so much fun. It felt like an episode of Entourage to me,
Mm,
where we got there. I also felt in retrospect because we're all so big and loud and um, what's the word? Charismatic, I think, as well. Like we're all theater kids at heart. So
mm.
we were joking and talking and reminiscing. It just
Yeah,
felt like an episode of Entourage to me,
yeah,
and I'm
absolutely.
sure because we're all huge, and the nature of our conversations, we probably stuck out a little bit in a
Mhm.
small regional airport at Sault Ste. Marie. So I was afterwards, I was like, that must have just been a whirlwind of energy for that small little airport where everyone was like, oh,
Mm.
who the
And
fuck are these
friendships were
people?
made, you know, it's
Yeah,
just there's so
yeah,
many times you're on set and then it's just like, oh, bye, let's exchange Instagrams, and you don't really hear from anybody again.
right.
But like with us, it's like we always see each other, we meet up, and it's just it's really good. You know, there's times I've come to you for advice and it's like, what, or like, what do you think about this and that?
Right.
And yeah, you've been completely accommodating to me and, just warm and, thanks.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
buddy. Yeah, if not for making friends, what are we really doing?
Yeah, absolutely.
If it's not fun, you can't be friends with everyone, and not every project is the greatest one ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like a dream gig.
Mhm.
So much so that we got to get a sequel. Yeah.
I hope so.
Come on,
Hope so.
Francesco. Yeah, so people can make sure to watch Tales from the Void. The episode is Into the Unknown, based on the Reddit No Sleep thread story called The Black Square for my Reddit nerds listening. Had you read the Black Square story before, or did you
No,
in
no. I
did
just
have you read it since? Actors, are you ready to shoot your strongest monologue yet? Join our free monologue challenge. You'll learn to tackle monologues with expert guidance and professional insights. This is perfect for new actors and seasoned pros. The monologue challenge is designed to help you develop your confidence, polish your delivery, and elevate your acting and monologue skills. Do not miss this chance to push yourself to new heights. Sign up now at actorsauditionclub.com/challenge. That's actorsauditionclub.com/challenge, and get ready to shoot your strongest monologue yet so you can showcase your unique talent to agents, casting, and producers. Sign up now at actorsauditionclub.com/challenge.
No, I honestly I didn't want to go in just like, reading something because, sometimes the stories are different from, the actual show and, you don't want to be a snob like, well, this da 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 da. I just
Right.
wanted to go in and then just enjoy it and
Clean
yeah.
slate, fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it would be a great, fun thing for you to go back and read it then, because the story is great. It's definitely, there is differences,
Right.
subtle things, but I think the adaptation that Francesco wrote and what we shot was like
Mhm.
I'm sure the writer's super happy. So watch it
Yeah.
on Screenbox, watch it on Super Channel in Canada, and I believe all 6 episodes have dropped as well too, so people can watch the other 5 after ours. Um, no shade to anyone else, but I heard people say that they thought ours was the favorite. So
It was my favorite. I almost, I might be biased, but
yeah, we're definitely biased, but
yeah, yeah.
you got to rep yourself. If
Mhm.
you can't rep yourself. Since this is inside the audition, we like to talk a little bit more about audition processes. Can you talk a little bit about like how you think about auditions, and then your actual tangible setup? Like, how do you, from the time you get an email from your agent to the time you shoot it, what's Sean's process? How do you shake it down?
Okay, my process, because I'm relatively new, right? I've been training for a few years, but like, I didn't start going like professionally until 2020, end of 2020. So it's like ever changing, it's figuring out things, figuring out what's good for you. So I have like one of those industrial printers that print out like, 1,500 pages before, you ever need to reset it or whatever. So, I'll be on the couch, I'll be like, oh, okay, I got an audition, print it out, I'll start
Okay.
reading it. Um, I like I'll read it a few times and then I'll start highlighting and then I'll start making notes on like, okay, this is, um, like they're talking about this or blah, blah, you know what I mean? Just like emphasizing that. I've really went to this like new school now and I've learned some different techniques, which is really helping me right now. And once after I read it, now I'm just like, okay, there's this part about like basically saying your lines monotone. So you're not putting any like, inflection or like commas or whatever, completely monotone, and saying that a few times. And I don't want to kind of like go super into the technique because it's just
Sure.
like I'm still learning it. I don't want
Right.
to like fuck it up, right? But it's really like if I have a audition that's due on maybe Friday, I try and get it done on maybe Wednesday,
Love it.
right? So
Yeah.
like so if I got it on Monday, I try and do it
Yeah.
on
Get them in
Wednesday
early. Get them in
because
early.
getting them early, it's like let's say you're on, like people who are use dating apps, in the beginning when you turn it on, you're like looking through the profile, you're looking through the pictures, da 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 da. After a while, it's like left, right, left, right, left, right, and the slightest thing could,
Right.
So think about, you getting your stuff in now like early, and then they're like really taking time and looking at, oh, this person is good to compare to like an hour before it's due and all these 50, 60 auditions are coming out and it's
Right.
like yeah, right,
Yeah.
the slightest thing you could have made one mistake and it's like forget it, no, we don't want this guy, we don't want this, right?
Right. Yeah, I think get them in early, like also shows you're professional. You can turn it around.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not wondering like if we book him, is he gonna show up a minute before his call time, or
Hmm.
not at all? Is he gonna need a like an extension? And I know there's different strokes for different folks and everyone's different, but I'm of the school of I think the within reason, like you don't want to rush it so much that you don't fully explore it or uncover the layers or the beats of it, but don't leave it till the last minute. I think a lot of
Yeah, don't.
procrastinate, and then it's stress and anxiety, and it
Yeah.
feels like, and then you wonder why you didn't get it. It's like, well, you left it all to the last minute. It's like cramming in high school or university. It's like
Hmm.
it might have worked, but it's probably not the most effective and useful way to do things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then it's like being a like we were talking about students of the game and whatnot and watching film, like I have all of my auditions I've done since like
Love it.
2020 to now, and sometimes you got to look at it and see what you're doing wrong. Sometimes you got to, you know when you're not really booking anything or things are slow, you take those opportunities to like, it's like building a 10-second car. It's like, do I really need this CD player? Do I really need this? You're trying to get like any little thing to get you just a little bit faster.
The edge. Yeah,
So yeah, just start, like, hey, okay, where am I looking? Where are my eye lines? Why did you choose this, make this decision? You really gotta, get an external hard drive and just save all of your auditions so you could really look at it. Because sometimes, you don't hear anything and you think, oh, well, something's wrong. Maybe,
right.
and you start thinking because this is not like a team sport where it's like, oh, we're winning and you can look at stats and all this stuff. Like you're facing off against how many, you don't know how many other people, it's not like
Right.
you're being told, and it's just like, okay, you got to figure out what am I possibly doing wrong, or what, and maybe get some other people that to look at it. It's like, hey, what do you think was wrong, in the same field? The important thing is like, especially in this world, is like having friends that are doing the same thing. It's like being a student athlete. You chill with other student athletes and you get better. You're
Right.
trying to get better. So it's like have a lot of friends who are actors who can tell you the truth. Like, hey, this is it. Th- this you need to work on. That was good. Blah blah blah. Just to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
have a community of people and other film industry professionals.
absolutely.
That's the one big thing, or it's one of many big things that we talk about at Actors Audition Club and on the podcast is doing it with if you're shooting with a spouse, partner, mother, father, grandmother, any
Mhm.
neighbor, anyone who's not a film industry and casting professional. Yeah, you can get it done and it might work, but you're probably, like I would say 99% 0.9% missing something that someone who's a pro and has an eye might have had extra insight. They're
Yeah.
like, well, what if you tried this? What if you tried that? Or whether it's something technical or just storytelling or camera dynamics or anything like that. It just, there's a reason that all of your favorite television shows and movies were shot with a professional crew, mostly using professional seasoned veteran actors. Like obviously there's fresh faces and there's people who you might call the naturals, but
Mhm.
generally it's professionals. So why would you think that you would have great success shooting an audition with someone who is clueless to TV, film, acting, the craft of it, the casting process, all that kind of stuff. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah,
But
find
like,
your people.
and understandably, it's like, you don't start off with that.
Right.
It's like if you're going to this is exactly like if you were being a boxer or taking MMA and whatever. It's like there are levels and you need to surround yourself around people who are, you know, getting better, trying to get better, trying to put in that extra work because I used to like every Sunday I used to meet up with a lot of my classmates and we come to my place and we go over monologues and scenes and all types of stuff and it was
Right.
just slowly getting ourselves better and then when you get that opportunity to work with somebody professionally and like to actually help you shoot an audition like properly, it's just like take it, use it to your advantage, and take notes on what you were missing. So
Yeah.
you're constantly learning, and it's sometimes you're learning on your own because it's like sometimes like people are giving out like trade secrets. It's like there's a lot of
Yeah, yeah.
could be a lot of
Well, yeah.
gatekeeping, right?
A lot of people are worried about their own and figuring it out on their own. So
Yeah,
like I'm trying to figure it out. You go figure
yeah,
it out on your own. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, what's the interesting thing about celebrating something that's being released is I always think of it like when you book it, there's a success of, oh, I just booked something, I got to go shoot it, and you're riding that high. And then
Yeah.
there's that
What
long
happened?
delay of post-production. And
Now
then
what?
this is like an echo where we get to, and it's almost to me, it's like we get to celebrate a past version of ourselves. Like that we captured time in that little time capsule shooting in Sault Ste. Marie of that episode. And there it is. Now it's on a box or it's on a mantle for somebody to see, or these days on a streaming platform. But it's already gone and it's the past. So, so it's
Yeah.
great to celebrate it. But the question is, what's next? What are you working on now? What do you aspire? I know you seem very driven, so I'm sure you're creating your own things. But and this is the kind of podcast where we speak things into reality and we manifest them. So,
Mhm.
what do you want to put out to the world that you're working on, and what do you want to share with us?
I guess my like next big project would be this movie called Adulthood. It's with Josh Gad and Billy Lord and Alex
Nice.
Winter. So yeah, this was like my first like working with like, really big named actors and
Right.
whatnot. And it almost felt like, you're you're like Robin or Kid Flash or something, and it's like you got called up to go to the Justice League,
Right.
and it's like you're in the
Yeah.
Hall of
Yeah.
Justice, like, oh shoot, it was really cool because like everybody was like really welcoming and nice and really surprisingly like really down to earth people. So I'm really excited about that. That's it's in post production. It should be coming out early next year, hopefully.
Congrats.
Um,
Adulthood.
Adulthood, yeah.
Adulthood. Josh Gad. Love him. Yeah.
And yeah, so that right now, like things are winding down. It's like November, things are kind of starting to wind down for the year. So like, I'm just taking classes and, getting better and working out and, all building that 10-second car, so
Love it.
things are happening. There's like, a bunch of projects that are happening right now, but I really can't say much. But like honestly, like yeah, I'm really excited about adulthood.
Yeah, buddy. Congrats. Well, there you have it, listeners of Inside the Audition. This has been great. Thanks for chatting. Again, watch Tales from the Void Into the Unknown on Screenbox in the States or on Amazon Prime/Super Channel in Canada. The episode is Into the Unknown. And stay tuned for more of these. We're going to do a series of them. So if you're listening to this one out of order, there's more. Yeah, subscribe, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things on all the platforms. This has been Inside the Audition. Final thought, Sean, I'm going to leave it to you. Advice to other actors or humans. What do you want to tell people?
Treat your dreams like your main chick and everything else like your side piece. Don't let anything make decisions for the main chick, your job. You got to work, you got to work hard. But listen, if you have those opportunities to progress as an actor, take them. I'm not saying don't crash out, don't jump out the window and quit your job. I'm saying make sure you make your dream, your goal as a priority.
Mic drop. Hey, this is Joey Freddie Larson. I want to say thank you so much for listening to another fantastic episode of Inside the Audition. If you're still struggling with your self-tape auditions, now is the time to join Actors Audition Club. You'll get expert coaching, practical tips, and support from a community that is dedicated to helping actors succeed. Our members receive personalized guidance, insider advice that ensures every audition reflects your true talent. If you're serious about booking more roles and leveling up your audition game, Actors Audition Club is the place to be. Visit www.actorsauditionclub.com to join today and make sure that you make your next audition count. Once again, you can join at actorsauditionclub.com and we will help you shoot standout auditions in less time.